Hey everyone, my name is Veronica and I am so happy to be recording this podcast for you today. I will be answering 3 questions submitted by listeners just like you. If you would like your question answered in a future podcast, it's so easy to do so. Just download the Anchor app, find me at Veronica and send me a voice note. I'm happy to answer questions on just about anything. I'm here to help. If you would like to learn more about me, maybe you'd like to try out one of my self-study programs, you can find that at studywithveronica.com. Okay, so let's get to question number 1.
Hi, Veronica. So I've been thinking a lot about manifesting a kind of an ex. The problem is that he really hurt me, and I don't know how to move forward and even try to manifest a relationship with him with all that I have had to go through. But I've been trying to manifest him for a while now, and I've seen no results, and I'm really discouraged. And I don't know how to keep believing because I feel like having hope is really hurting me a lot. So I don't know, should I just stop completely and just forget about it, even though I really can't? So, what would you recommend for me to do? Thanks.
Okay, so I'm happy to help you find the right solution in attracting this ex back. I do want to say that it is possible to attract someone back who has hurt you and to have them make things right and to also begin a new relationship with this person. Now, I know that it can seem difficult, like a struggle to imagine you happy together, especially when there's unresolved hurt, there's sort of bad feelings in terms of memories that you have. And I know that this can seem tricky to navigate. And I think one of the best ways to attract back someone in this type of situation where you're feeling a lot of resistance, where, it's sort of hurting you in the process, because we never want to let manifesting feel painful. Instead, we want it to feel, you want to feel a lot of relief, satisfaction, and it doesn't sound like you're feeling much of that at all right now. So I think that in cases like this, you're going to want to place a lot of the emphasis on you being able to be with someone who treats you right, who makes you happy, who doesn't hurt you. So the opposite of that would be someone that makes you feel good, someone that makes you feel joy, feel laughter, feel being loved, someone who respects you. Now, in taking this approach, it may sound like I am encouraging you to go general and attract a new relationship altogether, but I'm not. By seeing yourself as able to have these things, you include attracting him, and it's obvious who your preference is, who your first choice is. It is obviously this person. You don't have to keep stressing that. You don't have to keep reinforcing that. Like, that's something that is within you. So when you start to manifest, it's obvious that you're implying this person, even though you're not directly naming them, because it's causing you hurt and it's causing you pain. So I would start to see yourself as someone who, of course, can have these types of things. I would also see yourself as someone who can have past wrongs be made up to you. Now, this again will imply the hurt that this person has caused you. It can also have the great other effect of having other people that maybe have hurt you in the past just come out of the woodwork. Maybe, things that you've forgotten about, but things that people want to make up to you. So it can attract abundance in all forms. I do think you need to put this aside a bit and focus primarily on you and primarily on feeling better again, because it sounds like trying to manifest this person, from the standpoint of specifically putting so much focus on them is causing you a lot of pain. And that's never going to get any results. It isn't impossible at all. I think that you're just holding on too tightly to the idea of this person, and because they cause you so much hurt, that's all you're able to identify with right now. But I would take the plunge. I would just set them aside. Again, it's obvious that you want another chance at this, but you want it to be right. You don't want to attract more hurt or more pain, and you definitely don't want to attract hurt or pain in other areas of your life either. And I would totally take the approach of making this all about you, which is the strongest approach anyway. It's not the approach that people usually readily take because, again, they think it implies that you're attracting someone general, someone new. But that's not it at all. So I would definitely advise this, and I know that you can succeed. Okay, so let's get to question number 2. Let's see what that one's all about.
Hi, Veronica. Have you ever given up on an intention? Let's say you've tried to manifest something for a good period of time, maybe a couple of months, and it just didn't manifest, even though you've maybe let go, but it didn't show up, and you've realized that it would take too much of your effort and energy to continue intending it. And because you have some subconscious limits you cannot overcome, or maybe something else appeared in your 3D world which was not as good as your original intention, but it was good enough to let go of what you actually desire to have.
I think you present an interesting question, and I do have a lot of personal experience on this type of thing. For example, in manifesting my piano, my baby grand piano, the one that I ideally wanted, I kind of gave up on it a few times and I returned to it. It actually took me a period of 5 years. I would have to say that that is one of the manifestations that took me the longest. 5 years is a really long time, and I did give up on it. I was very attached to needing to sell my original piano before I purchased the new one. And I actually ended up just giving up on that idea and giving up on that process because it didn't seem to be working. And then, ironically, the day after I purchase my new piano, the perfect buyer shows up for my original piano and actually paid full price for it. And we'll talk about that in a future video for a success story on my piano. But to give you a little bit of background, I just didn't think it was possible. I knew that it could be possible one day, but it just didn't seem like it was something approachable. And I did sort of give up. And I think that people a lot of times do give up, but they haven't really given up. They just sort of put it aside. Another great example is a couple that's trying to have a child, and they're trying to conceive a child, and they want a biological child, and it just isn't working. And then they decide to, do the next best thing, which is adopt. Maybe they adopt, from another country. They just want to be parents. And then boom, what happens? Then suddenly they've got the child that they've wanted, they've satiated that within themselves, and then suddenly she gets pregnant. Like, there's so many stories you hear about that. It's so common. And it wasn't that they gave up, but that the rhythm of what they were doing stopped and altered, and they felt more satisfied and whole, and thus it just came through. So honestly, you said that you feel like you have let go. I actually don't think you fully have. Yes, things have taken longer than a few months for me. I do think that surrendering to your current moment, that you don't have it and that it's okay, is something to do. And I think that people equate this with giving up, and it's really not. It's just sort of giving into the current moment and letting it feel okay and to stop working so hard. Like, if it is taking you so much energy to have to keep intending upon something, that is not the right path. We manifest things through simple, easy suggestions, the path of least resistance. It's going to cause you a lot of resistance to have to keep intending upon something day after day after day. Like, that's physically exhausting. That's not going to get you there. If you do receive something in the meantime that is kind of good enough, if you take that, like for example, if you're trying to manifest a specific person and in the meantime you come across someone else that you start dating that's kind of, good enough but isn't your ideal person, I would just enjoy it. Like, enjoy it in the meantime. I don't think that that means that you've given up on it. I just think that it means, that you are enjoying that in the current moment for whatever reason it hasn't manifested yet, but that doesn't mean that it's a manifestation fail, or that by taking this alternative experience that you've somehow given up on your original intention. Now again, you shouldn't be spending so much effort, so much time on something and expecting it to come through. It's going to come through when you just find acceptance in the current moment. You can have your heart's desire, but you're not attached to it. I've manifested things that have taken all different sorts of amount of time. And if it seems like it is taking too much time, I just set it aside and I arrive back at it at another time, or in the amount of time that it's taken, to set it aside, it'll sometimes just show up out of the blue. So I hope that this could help you and help others too. Okay, so let's get to the last question of the day.
Hey Veronica, I want to manifest being the popular kid in school. All the girls have crush on him and everybody wants to be with, and has many followers on his Instagram too. Please just give me a whole cheat sheet about what to do and what not to do for manifesting this. Thank you.
When I first recorded this, I initially assumed that this person was asking how to manifest being popular. However, I realize now, after replaying it a few times, that I believe that this caller was actually asking about how to meet the popular girl. And now I realize that my response isn't especially accurate, but I do think it can help as well, so I'm going to still replay it after this response. But to just add to this, to meet someone who is popular, I think that you have to see them as being on your same level, as not being on a pedestal higher than you, and not to idolize them. I think that popular people tend to get, put into this fantasy realm that they're not actually real. And I do think that you can have them like you, have this person want to be with you, have this person actually attracted to you in return. But it's about seeing yourself as worth all of these things and seeing yourself on their same level as being able to be equal to them, not seeing this person as higher or better. I would actually reference watching a lot of my videos on how to remove someone from being on a pedestal. I think that that would especially help a situation like this. But just to add to it, you don't want to see this person as higher or better or different than you, or the answer to your prayers. They're just a person. They happen to be popular, but you deserve to be with someone who is popular too. So I hope that this answer could add on to what I already recorded, and I'm sorry for misinterpreting it the first time. All right, so I'm happy to help you manifest being the popular one. Now, I think that this can apply whether or not you're in school, or, you could apply this to a work situation or just a life situation. I mean, a lot of us want to be the popular one, want to be the one that's sought after, the one that is loved and adored and that everyone vies to spend time with. Like, this is a great feeling, and I have experienced both. I have experienced being the least popular person, and I have experienced being the most popular person in a situation. So I know what they both feel like, and I know what allows you to attain the popular state. And it really stems to self-concept. You don't want to use your current set of circumstances. I mean, I'm guessing that you probably have the opposite of all of the things that you mentioned that you wanted to receive. So you probably have the opposite, you're passed over, you're pushed aside, etc., etc. Otherwise, if you didn't have that lack, you wouldn't have the desire to manifest all of this, and you wouldn't be asking me this question. So it is fine to identify that these things that we want. The fact that you want this means that it is possible. Like, there are not some people that are, born into life being popular, and those are the ones that are the popular ones, and that everybody else is just, has to be the wallflower or the part of the crowd, and blend in. Like, that doesn't have to happen. Like, you get to choose your state. I want to say that popular people have confidence. They have high levels of confidence. The interesting thing is that you can have confidence, and you could just decide this for yourself. Like, when you're speaking about something, you don't necessarily have to be right to be confident in what you have to say. You could say the wrong thing and still be confident and believe in yourself. Like, having confidence doesn't mean that you have to be perfect or correct, is what I'm trying to say. So confidence is a choice. Now, again, you don't have to be an extrovert. I'm not an extrovert by nature, but I come off as an extrovert. It's a choice. You choose how to see yourself, how to identify yourself. And I think that one of the most important things you're going to want to start doing is not assuming that other people don't like you, or are repelled by you, or, are turned off or put off by you. So you definitely don't want to repeat things in your mind or repeat them out loud or complain about why, you're being passed over or pushed pushed aside. We want to stop reinforcing all of that. We want to take the attitude of a winner. Again, the most popular person is the one who is winning, and you can choose to be winning even before it happens. These self-concepts are all choices we make within ourselves first, and then the outer begins to resolve in that direction. But it is always a conscious choice first. We always have to decide this is what we want to be. Again, it's attitude, it's belief within yourself. It's also choosing to be authentic to who you are. To be popular does not mean you have to change your personality. And if you try to change your personality, I'm sure that it will, in fact, backfire. You need to own it. You need to believe in it. You don't have to have, the most beautiful features or the most handsome features or the perfect body or a lot of money. Like, you don't have to have these things to be popular. But you do have to be true to who you are and believe in who you are. Like, you don't have to have the best clothes. You could wear clothes from a thrift shop. But if you believe in who you are and you own it, and you feel that confidence just because you love who you are and you're loving life, guaranteeing, your style will be emulated. That's what I do. And like I said, I experienced a time in my life where I was very unpopular and very much not liked, and could not find a single person to want to spend time with me. I spent most of my years in school like this as a young person. Now I'm very popular. I have people wanting to be my best friend all the time. I go to a city and there's a gazillion people that want to take me out for coffee. You can experience the complete and polar opposite. But again, my self-concept changed in all things, in love, in friendship, in how I identified myself to be able to have money. So start small, take baby steps, don't expect it to change overnight, but the little steps that you take will in fact produce big results. So you will see results pretty soon, pretty fast. So do expect that, and miracles will follow. Okay, well, I'm Veronica Isles, and I hope you favored this podcast. They do replay on my YouTube channel, but they are played first on Anchor. And I love answering these questions. It's free. I answer them all. As long as you speak audibly, I do in fact answer them. And I look forward to recording many new podcasts soon. If you haven't already joined my mailing list, do sign up. The link is below, and you will receive my free MP3 meditation, which I know will benefit your life greatly. I implement techniques that have personally worked for me. Okay, and you can also do one of my self-study courses, learn more about that, studywithveronica.com. I'm always glad to help. I want you to succeed. Okay, well, have a great day.